Hi Legion, John Hittler, co-founder of Evoking Genius and co-creator of the Genius Discovery Process with another edition of Pure Genius. Hey, how often are you exhausted or bored or you feel underutilized, like you're not living up to your full potential? Well, we all have days like that. What happens when that day is the norm instead of the exception? Literally what happens is you wake up, your feet hit the floor, and you got to drag yourself through the day. Not very fun, is it? Well, I coach entrepreneurs, CEOs, team leaders, and individuals to create lasting behavior change by making transformation safer and more attractive than standing still. Today, we're going to transform your energy level. And how are we going to do that? We're going to give you a simple, mathematically based filter to transform your energy. You want to play? Well, scrape up all the energy you can and let's spin the big wheel. Let's go. 2 weekends ago, maybe 3 weekends ago, I got up on a Saturday morning. We had throughout the week, we had an increasingly drippy sink. Our master bath has 2 sinks in it, and once you were asleep, it didn't bother you, but trying to get to sleep with a consistent drip was really difficult. Well, Monday night it was, oh gosh darn it. Then Tuesday, you go. By about Thursday, I said, all right, Saturday, I'll get up and fix it. Now, for me, home repair projects are a bit of a chore. I'm not naturally gifted. I was raised by an engineer who built additions onto our house with plans that he drew on the back of a piece of paper. He could work like that. His mind worked like that. He didn't want me to help. He didn't want any of my brothers and sisters to help. He would just go down and pound it out. That's not me. It's a bit of a strain. It's a bit of a stretch to think of me as a home repair guy. Well, but I said, you know what? I want to sleep. And Saturday morning, we didn't have anything going on. I'll take this on. What could possibly go wrong? That was my theory. Well, I got into the sink, looked at what we were dealing with, and I turned the water off, got in the garage. I got a pair of like channel lock pliers. I didn't really have the right wrench, but I thought these will get the job done. You put it on there and you hold it all tighter. Oh no, I kind of stripped the bolt that holds the... It's not good. Well, I've got to get under there more. Okay, I got the wrong wrench, so it's too much torque on my hands. And then it slips it. Now I bang my 2 fingers. I gash them, and you take off 6 layers of skin with that big hunk of flap on each skin. And it's bleeding. Yes, the darn bolt released, but at what price? Gosh. Now, my fiance's a doctor. So she's hearing me cuss, the language is getting foul, and she's going, what happened, you okay? And I said, yeah, I just cut the crap out of my fingers, just gashed them. She looked at it and said, well, yeah. No, she's a doctor, so of course she went upstairs, and we don't have a Band-Aid anywhere in the house, because who living with a doctor would possibly have a clean bandage in their own home? So I took toilet paper first, and then I took Scott towel and wrapped it around there just so I could keep working. But I got the thing open, and what I really need to do is get the washer. That's what I need. I need to know what size washer and what it looked like. Was it rubber or metal or what? Yay! All right, I'm 10 minutes in to what should be a half-hour project, and that includes time to and from the hardware store. And I've got 2 busted up fingers, and they get the bruise underneath with the flap of skin hanging, they're bleeding. I go down to the Ace Hardware, Carmel, California, Ace Hardware, friendly folks, and they all are fix-it guys. And I walk in, and they see the paper towel wrapped around my fingers with the blood soaked through, and my washer. And they didn't ask me about the washer. They said, hey, how'd you get that, how'd you kind of bang up your fingers? Now, I'm sure they knew, because I'm holding a washer, and they're looking at me and going, he doesn't look like a normal Saturday morning weekend warrior home repair guy. We don't see this guy in here very often. Okay, so they wanted me to tell the story just probably so they could get a kick out of it. But they showed me the washers, and they said, you'd probably do better in this project if you had a pipe wrench. Because I told them in the process of banging up my knuckles, I did it because I had channel lock pliers instead of a pipe wrench. Well, you really ought to get a pipe wrench. Now, they're big and they're iron and they weigh a ton, but they're designed for that job. So $37 later, I didn't buy the regular pipe wrench. I bought the super heavy. You know, if you're going to do a job, gosh darn it, do it right. Why would I spend $29 when for $7 more I could get the super heavy duty one? So I came home with a $37 pipe wrench for a job I really didn't want to do that had to get done. A $1.29 washer. So with tax, I was into over 40 bucks on this job. I had 2 busted up knuckles, bruised, so I couldn't work out for a couple days, but I was going to get this thing done. So I dropped in my new washer. Yay, easy enough. Hand tighten the bolt, because I can do that as far as I need to. And then I take my new Super Duper, I'll show it to you. It's one of these. This guy. Super Duper, you know, weighs about 10 pounds, made out of iron. It's a Super Duper handy pipe wrench, 37 bucks at Ace Hardware, and I start to tighten up my bolt. Great, looks good. Go to turn the water back on. That thin stream starts spraying everywhere. Oh, turn the water off, turn it off. I'm getting water everywhere because I had stripped the bolts or done, gosh darn it. So I eventually worked with the pipe wrench, and thank God it was the super heavy duty. Good call, Ace Hardware. Kept cranking it, kept stripping the bolts, kept cross-threading them until I got it on there where the water wouldn't leak. But in doing so, again, my handle slipped. And since this thing is made out of iron, the butt of the wrench hit the side of the wood cabinet and just busted a hole. Cheap cabinets, IKEA kind of cabinets. Thankfully, we're in a rental. So when I move out, they will take it out of my security deposit, probably 250 bucks to replace that cabinet because I busted it open with my super heavy duty iron wrench. If you're keeping score at home, I'm about an hour into a $1.29 half-hour project. I've spent $43. I've got 2 trashed fingers. I've done $200 worth of damage to my bathroom cabinet, and I've wrecked, absolutely wrecked any chance of having a decent Saturday and probably a decent Sunday because I took on a project that I had no business doing. Oh, that creates exhaustion. Now, some people work around the house all Saturday and just love it. They putz. They're putzers. You know putzers? They're down at Ace Hardware at 7:05 or Lowe's or Home Depot, 7:05 every Saturday morning. They're either buying 1-gallon plants to put in the spring garden, or they're doing a little touch-up painting this weekend, or they're going to hang a shelf, or they're going to redo the garage so they need a built-in this or that, or they're always buying tools. They're the guy you go to their house and borrow the $36 super heavy-duty pipe wrench. You don't buy your own. Well, I do this about twice a year. I kid myself that I can do this. And there's 2 criteria that would have saved me. Absolutely would have saved me. I'll give you those in a sec. But we call what I did on Saturday morning an incompetent project. And why is it that we call it incompetent? Well, it's not just that I don't know what I'm doing. The truth is, if I were a little more careful and had the right tools, I probably could have done it without killing myself or breaking my cabinet. The truth is, 1 unit of output created less than 1 unit of productive result. I'll say that again. It took me 1, 2, maybe 3 units of energetic and emotional frustration, blood, sweat, and tears, I'll call it, plus $42, plus an hour of my time. So let's call it 5 units to create a less than stellar result. I didn't even get 1 unit in return for my 5 units put in. So lots of input, not much output. Now remember these old, you see them in old film reels. They call them time and motion studies. I see you guys walking around with clipboards going, oh yes, that's more efficient. When you go like this, that's more efficient than going like this, more efficient than going like this. And they would train people in productivity, usually around manufacturing, that this motion, they call them time and motion studies, was the most efficient for time. It was the most efficient for productivity. We're talking about the same sort of concept. In incompetent activities, your time and motion, or your input, equals much less than what you get out of it at the end. Now imagine if you do that at your work. Let's pick an activity for which you're incompetent, not just home repairs. Maybe you're terrible at helping your kids with homework. What's the price you pay? How many measures of input do you have to get to equal one measure of acceptable output, which would be your kid's homework is done? Well, if it's 2 measures, frustration, one for you and one for your child because you're not very good at it and they don't like it either, and then you're in over your head because they're doing 5th grade math now and you can't do that to save your life, that's 3. And then an hour of your time you say, wow, that was 4 measures of input to get the darn homework done. And we have to do homework every night. Exhausting. That's what it feels like to do incompetent activities. You're either bored, you're exhausted, you're frustrated, or you feel undervalued. You get the equation? Well, what if you asked 2 questions before you took on any activity? Here's one of the questions. Do I love this? Do I absolutely love this? Homework. No, I hate it. Then why am I doing it? Home repair projects. Had I asked myself, do I love getting up on a Saturday morning and going down to Home Depot and buying tools and fixing a leaky faucet? No, I hate that. Then right off the bat, gosh darn it, dunk. I had no business doing this. I should have been out of it. That's one. The second question is, am I uniquely qualified, or am I really, really, really talented in this field? Again, in my case, maybe minimally talented. I'm pretty good at painting. I'm pretty good at mowing grass and some outdoor landscape stuff. Other than that, I'm horrible at home repair projects. So no energy and no specific competence. What the heck was I doing fixing a leaky faucet? Oh well, I could have avoided it and not wrecked an entire weekend. Well, so let's get back to our equation. We did incompetent, lots of input for almost no output. So this much output for this much input. Oof, bad deal. Anything having to do with incompetent, and incompetent could be it drains my energy, or I'm not very good at it, or both. So how about competent? I'll throw out a couple of competent things. Now, you see these studies. Everybody rates themselves as an above average driver. And yet everybody complains that everybody else is a poor driver. Mathematically, it can't be true. Somebody has to be average. Most of us, newsflash, are competent drivers. We're not great drivers, we're not bad drivers. We're not super safe, we're not super dangerous, we're not super fast, we're not super slow. We know how to drive, we know how to get from here to there, we know how to navigate around. I'll say we get the job done. But your level of input compared to your level of output is about the same. You put a little bit of emotional energy into it, you put a little bit of skill, you put some gas in the tank, and you say, yeah, I'm a decent driver. Good. It's a 1-for-1 exchange, and that's what we call competent activities. It doesn't drain your energy, it doesn't fill your energy tank, if you will, your personal energy tank. It doesn't feed your soul, but it doesn't drain you like blood suck you. Great, you get the job done, but nobody's going to give you an award for it. We call that competent. Maybe it's cooking. You cook dinner every night? Yeah, you're competent at cooking. Are you ready for the Food Network? No. You drive? Yeah, same thing. Maybe there's things you're good at work that fit competent. It's a 1-for-1 return. Perfect. But what about those activities for which you can put 1 unit of input and get multiple units of benefit? Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking about high leverage, aren't we? We say, gosh, I can put a little bit of time, a little bit of money, a little bit of resources, and a little bit of purpose that equals 1 total unit of input, and I get 8 or 9 or 10 units of productivity or output. Oh, now what if life looked like that? Gosh, how do you play there? Well, you ask the questions again. Ask the same questions. Do I love doing this? If it's not love or really like, then you're in the wrong zip code. You're not going to get any leverage. That's the first. Even higher level than that, does this fit my exact purpose for being on the planet? There are activities that fit your highest level values and purpose for which you produce amazing results because you're purpose driven. Great, that's half the equation. And then you say, what if I could align my highest purpose with activities that are set to the singular gift of talent that I alone possess on the planet? We call that genius. You're aligning your highest level purpose, your singular gift of skill, and by that, or talent, which I literally mean you're the only person on the planet that owns it, and it's in your DNA. What if you could do activities that fit that description? You get incredible leverage. In fact, there is no ceiling on the amount of leverage you can get. You put 1 unit of input and get 20 units of output, or 6 units of output, or 12 units of 50 maybe, and you love doing it all day long. You could get up and do it all day, every day. Wow. Okay, so you say, well, that would be cool, but I don't know what that is for me. I don't know what my singular gift of, I don't know what my purpose. That's the easy part. I'll say that's the simple part. Send me a private message, go to our website, 90 minutes, $300 later, and we'll even give you a free second one so you can give it to your spouse or friend or coworker. We want everybody on the planet to know their genius. And more than that, we want them to use it to have a great life. What if everybody on the planet were aligned with their purpose and their highest level talent? The world would be a different place. So I'm going to backtrack just for a sec. What about things for which there is no monetary or big output reward? Huh? What do you mean? 2 places. Volunteer activities or hobbies? Are you an unbelievably gifted golfer? No, you're probably a hack. Most people are. They're not super competent at it. They shoot 100 or they shoot 90, but they might shoot 85. Well, the guys on tour shoot 68. So you're nowhere close to being really talented in golf. But on a Saturday morning, there's nothing better you'd like to do than get together with 3 or 4 buddies and go play golf. We call it a hobby. The truth is you can go sailing or golfing, or you can spend a day in the garden or quilting or play Sudoku all day as a form of rejuvenation and relaxation, because it's a hobby. You're not meant to be any good at it. And you do get leverage from that because you refill your tank that way. It's a great form of rest and relaxation, even though you oftentimes come home and you're exhausted. I have a friend that goes sailing all the time, and they'll fish, they'll put down crab buckets and shrimp buckets while they're out there too. But he loves to be out on the water all day long. He comes home and he's like exhausted. He's just dead, and he's completely full. I mean, he brings home 10 live crabs and shrimp, and we cook them up and whatnot. And for the life of him, all he can really do is have a beer and sit and relax. Perfect. He's so much better shape to take on the world on Monday for having done that, because he's just engaging one of his hobbies. Same goes when you engage in a volunteer activity. Our family used to go and do food boxes. We'd go down the food bank in your county, and they just need labor. They need people to show up on a Saturday and build food boxes. They say, here, take bananas and take bread and take canned goods and take milk, get it all into a box and get it ready for distribution for a needy family. Was it hard? No. It was physical labor, but not particularly hard. You could quickly get pretty good at it. Like in 15 or 20 minutes, you kind of figure out little systems that worked well. But the truth was, you felt like you were contributing to the welfare of others, and it paid its dividends in 2 ways. One, you got fed for having aligned with your highest purpose or your purpose of serving others. And 2, you benefited someone who said, wow, this will really help my family this week. So you get double the benefit for you volunteering because there is no pay in volunteer, but it's got a gigantic output. You got it? Well, what if Monday morning you took an inventory of everything you did, especially at work, and said, do I love this? That's the first litmus test. That one's more important than anything because when you love doing things, it fills your energy rather than drains your energy. So the first is, do I love this? If you can't get there, I don't love it. Do I like it? Like is okay. Like is a pass. Am I okay with it? You might have to do some of that, but nothing below that. For anything you say, oh God, I hate this, find someone else to hand it off to who loves it. Because there are people that love what you don't. Great, that's the first question. The second, am I uniquely gifted? That would be the words I would use. Am I uniquely gifted to do this job, or can anyone do this? Because if you put together the combination of, I don't mind doing it, and I'm not uniquely gifted, that drains your energy. We're here to transform your energy. We're here to have, when your feet hit the floor, for you to say, I'm ready to go. I can't wait to go make a difference today. So here's the thing. We also know that when you live this energetic, mathematical formula, if you will, we call leverage, you slow down the aging process. Oh, I wasn't very interested till now. Yeah, you want to get rid of your crow's feet or look 10 years younger or have the hair color come back? Yeah, reverse the aging process. You do it by releasing the hormones associated with doing things you love to do that give you energy. Hormonally, it's a great thing to do, and the pharmacology in your head will do that when you do things that you love that have a big leverage payout. So if you don't do it for purpose or you don't do it for genius, do it for anti-aging. Fair enough? Great. Well, I know you tune in to get ideas to make your life better, and I really appreciate that. If this was helpful, like and share this with your friends. They'll like it as well. It'll benefit them too. In the meantime, keep making a difference, and if you'd like to discover your genius, we've got a unique process, 90 minutes and $300, and you'll know your singular gift of talent that you and you alone possess on the planet. Until we meet again on Pure Genius, all the best.